So, doing a review for Fear of the Walking Dead, Season 3, Episode 4, entitled Blood in the Streets. So I thought this was an interesting episode. We had Strand get a backstory to him. We had some conflict on the Abigail. Three basic storylines: what was going on in the Abigail, what was going on with Strand, and what was going on with Nick. We'll start out with Nick, seeing how the episode started with him, and he's swimming ashore. He's naked, and he's got his clothes with him. He gets on this beach, puts them on, then he starts walking around. He finds this sort of refugee camp, a lot of empty tents. He spots a walker, and he lures the walker up to this tent where he takes it out and spreads all the blood over him. He's using the camouflage method again. And from there, he ends up in some kind of developed community. I wasn't clear on that. And he meets up with this guy who Strand sent him to find. Well, I'll talk more about that guy when we get into Strand's backstory, which I guess we'll talk about that now. So, Strand, we get some flashbacks with him, and we find out that, a couple of years back, like when Katrina happened, so I think that makes it 2005, he was talking to this guy in a bar. Strand's like broke, and they're talking business, and the guy gets drunk, so Strand takes him back to his hotel room, the guy's hotel room, and takes the guy's wallet, takes out all his credit cards, and uses the money. The guy tracks Strand down. They have a talk like, hey, you're working for me now. And apparently he's working for this guy called Thomas Abigail, which is what the boat is named after. We find out finally who Abigail is, and it's not a woman. I thought it was like his daughter, but it's this guy who he's working with, and they were lovers. And it's kind of interesting. They're building this fortune, I guess, on real estate. I wasn't too clear on what exactly the two of them were doing. But basically the last thing we see is, Strand is giving out a kiss before he goes to Los Angeles. He gets caught up in that shitstorm. And the guy I mentioned before who Strand sent Nick to find, Louise, is this guy who works for Thomas Abigail. And they're all friends. Okay, so now on to the Abigail. Some people came aboard tonight. They had a little boat, and one of them was pregnant, so everyone's trying to help them out. And, they're letting their guard down, and wouldn't you know it, they're hijackers. They pull out guns, they knock everyone around, start ordering around, they tie everyone up. They get Strand gets off the boat at that point, and they take a shot at him, and that's what leads up to the flashbacks. Is he's out in the ocean, wounded, and he's just flashing back to how he got in that predicament. Well, the hijackers are, one of them is Jack, who Alicia had been talking to over the radio in episode 1, I think it was. So we finally meet Jack, and he's shady, and they have something. They work for some guy called Connor. I'm getting like a Governor Negan vibe about this guy, like he's just running a bunch of pirates, and all they do is shoot up boats and take supplies, and occasionally they take people who they think will be useful. We'll find out more with Connor. Connor also shows up at one point, and they take Travis and Alicia hostage. There's at the same time Nick and them are coming back. They get in a shootout with some men they left behind, kill 2 of them. They stab this one guy. He's played by Jesse McCarthy. And I was like, yeah, because the guy who's playing is a complete dick throughout the entire episode. But they leave him alive so they can find out where Travis and Alicia is, and that's where the episode ends off. So like I said, I thought it was a pretty good episode. I was confused most of the time with Nick, like why is he ashore? Doesn't he realize they could take off without him? What's he doing there? But eventually you find out, and it makes sense. I like Strand's backstory because so far I've seen, my impression of Strand is he doesn't care about anyone but himself. But now we see that he's got a lover. He's got, he's friends with Louise and Thomas Abigail's mother, so that he has like a family unit. He has people he cares about. That's an interesting with Strand. Now they've got some antagonists. That could be interesting. And like I said, all around, I thought it was a pretty good episode. Not a lot to it, not a lot of action and whatnot, but enough. And I'll be here next week with my review for the next episode.